America's favorite pack leader launches a new show from the district.
We've got all the details coming up on this edition of We Are Washington Week in Review. Welcome to We Are Washington Week in Review.
Coming up, we'll bring you our exclusive interview with dog whisperer Cesar Milan as he launches his new series from right here in the district.
And since fall is here, we're going to talk football.
You have to talk football.
You don't want to miss what Redskins fans have to say as we hit the streets to get their predictions about the season.
But before we get to all of that, here's a look at the week's highlights. It's been more than a decade in the making, but the National Museum of African American History and Culture is officially open. All eyes were on Washington for the historic grand opening as A-listers flocked to the district for receptions and concerts celebrating the new museum.
The goal was to find that tension between moments of tears and moments of great joy. But we also knew that remembering wasn't enough. We needed to craft a museum that would use the history and culture of the African American community as a lens to better understand what it meant to be an American. The goal was to help all, regardless of race or ethnicity, to help all realize how profoundly affected we are as Americans by the African American experience.
As you might imagine, tickets are hard to come by, but timed entry passes are available for the months of November and December. You can find out more information on the museum website.
Mayor Muriel Bowser and the D.C. Council welcomed the Congressional Black Caucus to the district. The welcome reception served as an opportunity to speak with leaders from around the country about the city's statehood initiative.
I know if we all work together, we send out a big voice and a big vote for Washington, D.C., people will take notice. So on November the 8th, I'm voting for statehood for Washington, D.C. I'm voting for statehood for Washington, D.C.
Just let me say, folks, they come at us. And the first people that come with us are my colleagues in the Congressional Black Caucus, so we ought to celebrate them here today.
The CBC held its 46th annual legislative conference at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. The district council welcomed a new member as Robert White was sworn in as an at-large council member. His term lasts until the new council members are sworn in on January 2nd, 2017.
White fills a vacancy created when former at-large council member Vincent Orange resigned. The D.C. Democratic State Committee selected White for the vacant at-large spot. The new member will get right down to work as the council faces a busy schedule following the summer recess. To keep up to date with all the legislative activities of the council, you can watch their hearings on the D.C. Council channel.
Mayor Muriel Bowser named Peter Newsham interim chief of the Metropolitan Police Department. Newsham has been with the force since 1989 and has been assistant chief of police since 2002. He takes over as Mayor Bowser continues her search for a permanent replacement for Police Chief Kathy Lanier. Lanier retired to take over as head of security for the National Football League.
D.C. public high school students now have a new place to pursue law enforcement career goals. The Anacostia Public Safety Academy in Ward 8 was launched this fall.
The Anacostia Public Safety Academy will ensure that each year we're graduating young people with guaranteed admission into the MPD cadet program in our University of the District of Columbia's community college. These cadets will earn a cadet salary right away of $30,000 and then graduate to a starting salary of more than $50,000 for police officers. And that, we know, is a pathway to the middle class in Washington, D.C.
September continues to be jam-packed with activities highlighting the city's creative economy. Among the many events featured in Mayor Bowser's 202 Creates initiative was the Lantern Walk. The walk was inspired by the story of African-American families who built their homes in the historic Berry Farm and Hillsdale neighborhoods by candlelight after returning from work. Participants created lanterns and walked through the community to the Anacostia Art Center.
Cesar Milan brought his pack to D.C. The world-famous dog trainer was in town to launch a new TV series called Dog Nation. Mayor Muriel Bowser welcomed Cesar and his dogs and thanked them for bringing more creative business to the city.
It brings me great pleasure to welcome Cesar Milan's Dog Nation to Washington, D.C., and to thank Cesar for his commitment to educating all of us about how to treat and guide our animals. D.C. is a dog-friendly and a dog-loving city.
We'll hear more from Cesar Milan in our exclusive interview coming up just a little later in the show.
It was a picture-perfect day for this year's H Street Festival. The celebration drew huge crowds to a neighborhood that's undergone a major transformation.
10 years ago, it was only a couple of blocks long. Now it is the full length of H Street corridor. You've got every business represented, and so many more businesses and residents come out. And it's really something that more and more people are able to take advantage of and be a part of.
We are back at the H Street Festival 2016 live. I'm Matt Granato, and look who's back. It's my friend Kelly Garter Knight.
Oh yeah, I'm back, and I am so happy that I had this experience this year.
And during the H Street Festival, Fire and EMS Chief Dean, along with Mayor Muriel Bowser, shared the success of the district's Hands-on Hearts CPR training program, doubling its goal with more than 10,000 residents reached with this life-saving technique.
Finally, Mayor Muriel Bowser served as Grand Marshal at Fiesta DC Hispanic Heritage Parade. The celebration gives residents a chance to celebrate Latin culture and show off some salsa moves. And Matt, I'm very sorry that you didn't get a chance to show off your salsa moves at the Fiesta.
Well, maybe not at the Fiesta, but I mean, I was maybe showing off a few other moves at the H Street Festival.
Yeah, I certainly hope we have video of that. But I know you were busy at the H Street Festival, and this is your second year in a row covering this festival that's gotten so much bigger. So how does this year's compare?
Okay, well this year was fun. I'd say it's pretty similar in the sense that we had a lot of bands, a lot of food, a lot of music, a lot of cool things going on. If I had to say anything, I would say it was probably, maybe the crowd felt a little bit bigger. Might have been a few more people there than I remember the year before, but great event, a lot to do. And I might have made a move or two, had a little bit of music going on, dancing a little bit.
Dangerous.
Not great at it, but I still tried it out nonetheless.
Good for you.
Tried it out, yeah. Coming up, we're going to the dogs with Cesar Milan, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to We Are Washington Week in Review. So, Cecily, this week you got a chance to meet one of your heroes, right?
One of my big heroes as a dog owner. I'm sure you can relate to this.
Yeah.
I've wanted to meet Cesar Milan for a long time. So here we go. He is best known for his shows The Dog Whisperer and Cesar 911. But now he's got a new show that features his son Andre called Dog Nation. Take a look. Cesar Milan, we are thrilled to have you in Washington, D.C. Tell me about this new project.
Well, first of all, thank you very much. And this new project is very special for me because this time I'm doing it with my son, Andre, who's 22 now. I always wanted my kids to be part of what I do because I love what I do. I didn't know they wanted to do it as well, so now that Andre said, yeah, I want to join in. And so what we're doing right now is we're doing it's a tour, where we are finding people who are doing amazing things. We put the spotlight, we make the awareness so people know the other people are doing great things in their environment and their neighborhood. And we also go and visit the fans, and at the same time, I also do like a live show. Because a lot of people believe that what I do is edit it. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure that people recognize and realize the energy is real, know who you are in the animal world is energy. So it's very important for people to see it live.
Mm-hmm. And in watching your show, you do get a sense of just what an amazing sense you have of dog and human interaction. What do you attribute to your success, and do you think that this is something you've passed on to your sons?
Well, the respect to nature is something that I definitely pass to my sons. We respect how the dog view the world. We don't want to make a dog human. Most of my clients want to humanize the dog, and they want the dog to fulfill an empty spot in them. So the human says, I want you to fulfill me, versus the human fulfilling the needs of a dog. So for my kids, I said, we're going to first and foremost respect the needs of a dog, so then they can give us trust, respect, and loyalty in return.
So much looking forward to the new show. Can't wait to see it. Thank you so
Well,
much for being with us.
Thank you, and I can't wait for you guys to see my son in action, to see what I have raised. I'm very proud.
Andre, you must be so excited. Tell me about this project.
Well, this project, I'm here doing it with my dad. I'm, coming from a different perspective, coming from the millennial side of things. I want to get, the attention of my generation so we can help spread awareness and, recognize all these amazing organizations that are out there making a change in the nation.
And you've worked, alongside your dad. You've been a part of his empire, really,
Yes.
over the years. What have you learned from him?
Well, growing up, I've always learned to respect Mother Nature, because in return you will get the same respect. Never, obviously, his protocols and his concept, nose, eyes, ears, no touch, no talk, no eye contact, things like that. And it really helps and goes a long way to help grow, especially just as a human, because, you apply these concepts to, the human world. And with that, you get the same respect that you want.
Sometimes when I watch your dad working with animals, it's almost like watching, a medium, or it's like he's, telepathic or something.
Right.
Do you feel that you've inherited some of those abilities to just kind of read a situation, or have this kind of instinctual understanding of maybe what problems might be happening?
Well, I mean, I do watch him all the time. I did grow up around him, my whole life. So watching him and studying him is one of my biggest, things that I'm really good at, is because I can really understand where he's coming from and then see from out of the box perspective. And I think that helps a lot, because then with other things I can help, change the view on certain situations.
Do you feel, now that you're following his footsteps, is there, some pressure in that to kind of, further his legacy?
Yes, I mean, there's no pressure at all. I mean, it's just it's what comes naturally. It's innate in us, and so I feel like doing something as such as we're doing today, and for the show and stuff, I think it's awesome. I don't really feel stressed or nervous or anything. I love spreading education and knowledge, in which that's like my biggest goal, and so that will help, like I said, further down the line.
Okay, wonderful. Lastly, what advice do you have for young people who are interested in getting a dog and they go to a shelter? What should they look for, and what should they ask themselves before taking home a dog?
Right, well, like number one is research. Always do your research first on what kind of dog is right for you. And then always when you go to a shelter, the number one thing my father says is look at the energy and match with the energy that's right for you, because you could have a high energy dog and you could be a low energy human. And so that won't, relate, or that won't, it won't, go together well. So like the whole point is to, just watch and observe first, do your research, and don't impulsively obtain an animal just out of emotion. Make sure you're prepared for this, you're ready, your lifestyle is accustomed to, being able to, live around a dog.
And don't just get a dog because your children are begging you
Yes,
to,
yeah,
which is what I did.
yeah,
Okay.
no,
But that can work out too. Well, thank you so much. We're really looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much.
Matt, you have a dog, so I know you can relate to how fun it was for me to speak with Cesar Milan and his son.
Right.
And I actually had a chance to talk about my own dog, which I made sure not to have on camera. And I told him a little bit and got some pointers, and which is really great, because imagine how much it would cost to have Cesar Milan come to your house and train your dog.
A great opportunity, right? But was it a little bit intimidating too? Because just like a child, you want to make sure you're raising your dog right. You want to make sure you're doing all the right things as a dog parent. So.
Very intimidating. Very intimidating. In fact, I really was a little bit hesitant to tell him the full the full scope of the issues, because as Cesar Milan likes to say, it's not about the dogs.
Okay.
Which is kind of sad. So. So I tried to keep it positive.
So I mean, on television, he's training dogs and he's helping out owners. But when you got a chance to speak with him, it felt like this is something you could probably learn something from and bring home and apply to your own.
And that's the idea of this new show, which is amazing, is that he wants to do things in real time. So that, because I think some people think, oh, it's probably edited and it's not really true.
Right.
Well, when you see it live, you realize that he is the dog whisperer.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that was very interesting. Glad we got a chance to talk with him, and you got a chance to meet your heroes.
Loved
That's
it.
nice.
Loved it.
So when we return, we're talking football with the Classic DC event. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to We Are Washington Week in Review. Okay, let's talk about football. First up, the AT&T Classic was held, which I know district residents always look forward to because it's a chance to see two great institutions square off at RFK.
We were there for the 6th annual Nations Classic, which pits Hampton against Howard. But as we'll see, it's not about just the football.
There will always only be one HU, and that is Howard University.
HU?
Oh, well, you know Hampton is the best HU. Look, it's all HBCU love, but I just have a real warm, special place in my heart for my home by the sea. So I got a rep for Hampton.
Howard University! It's not even a contest. Howard, the only HU. The only HU. The real Howard University.
Hey, we don't care who win the game. It's all about this, man. It's all about the environment, the community. It's love, baby, regardless.
Let's go, D. Come on, D-line.
Hampton University won that game against Howard 34-3, but win or lose, games like that are great because it's really all about the unity. And speaking of winning or losing, it's time to hear about the Redskins.
And lucky for us, our intrepid reporter Chris Dunlop hit the streets of D.C. to get some predictions about how the Redskins will do the rest of the season. Let's take a look.
I think it's going to turn out to be all right.
Oh, that's right. I know that's right.
Because I'm a Redskin fan.
I think it's going to turn out like every other season.
Well, what do you think?
Not so good. I know.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
I think it's going to turn out pretty good. Rest of the division, a little bit weak. They got build off of everything that they did last year. Hopefully healthy Jordan Reed. Hopefully Kirk Cousins can do what he did last year. And I think they put together a pretty good year.
Nah, I want to know. Even if you ain't no Skins fan, just keep it 100 with me. How you think?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
You a Cowboys?
I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Thank goodness. At least we got that straight now. So give me.
I'm an Eagles fan. So.
Oh, that's even worse.
Okay.
Just moved to D.C. Hope they do well. Hope I can go to some games. They probably win the NFC East. We'll see what happens.
For the most part, we should be successful. We got a lot of new players coming on to the team, new coaches, and everything should be up to par. Yeah, it should be successful. D.C. on the rise.
Oh, I hate Skins.
Awesome. Don't talk to her. She's a Dallas fan, so she's a defector. Our season's going to be awesome. Of course it's going to be awesome, provided that we can focus. So we just need to focus. We can do it. Go Skins. Boo Cowboys.
How you think the Skins season going to turn out?
Man, they're going to turn up, show out. You hear me? They better could.
They should do all right. When main man got hurt, though, man, on Gillette. So I'm thinking that somebody got to step up. And guess what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to try out for him. Punt return, man. All right, let me go. right, boss.
Great to hear from Redskins fans who really keep the faith no matter what.
Absolutely, yes, still keeping the faith. Well, that is going to do it for us this week. But we've got time for just one last thing. So, Cecily, why don't you tell us what we have?
Well, for my one last thing, I learned that Cesar Milan always says he trains people and rehabilitates dogs. So that's some good advice for all you dog lovers out there.
Okay, I like that. That's a nice thing to leave us with for the week, too.
Exactly,
Appreciate
something to contemplate.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us on We Are Washington Week in Review.
For all things Washington, we've got you covered.
See you next time.